Hey there, welcome to our Steelers show on a special Friday night edition. My bad, everybody. We usually tape these on Wednesday night, and I was tired. It was a long day. I fell asleep. So, we could go over our Facebook messages. We have a chat between us, and I'm here with Paul and Joe. And Chris, where are you? Are you dead? And, about 2 hours later, I'm like, no, I just fell asleep. They're like, darn, you're not dead.
At that point, we were all asleep.
Yes, very much. we weren't going to tape at 1, 2 in the morning. That'd have been a little too rough. So.
No.
But hey, we're back.
Not likely to happen.
I got Paul and Joe with me, and let's start. Probably all the best that we didn't do this on Wednesday, because Wednesday we got the big news that Matt Canada is coming back for another year, and I was depressed. I was at my job, and I was sitting there. And thankfully, the guy I work with is a Steelers fan too, and looked at him and said, "Man, I am depressed." He's like, "Yes, I am depressed too." But I've come to grips with it. I'll tell you why. But first of all, let's start with Paul. Paul, what are your thoughts on old Matt Canada returning for the Steelers?
Can't you tell by my excited face how thrilled?
Not in an audio-only podcast.
Paul, the biggest
another season in the world. Thinking and dunking until there's 3 minutes left, and Kenny Pickett decides to have a malfunction in his earpiece and just do what he wants to do. And here we go.
I'm sorry, I can't hear your nonsense from the sideline. I'm gonna have to just I'm gonna go play well now.
Joe, I saw
something. We have 30 seconds and 80 yards to go. Sure, let's throw it 2 yards.
Yeah. Nothing better.
Joe saw some exasperated tweets by you too. I'm assuming you feel the same way.
Oh yeah, I mean he's like my third favorite Canada. So
who are the first two?
What? Well, the nation is number 2. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, you throw me off. I know we're Steelers podcast. Well, who's number one?
Ginger ale?
The Ginger Canada Dry.
Number one.
Is my top Canada.
Also,
and let me just tell you,
scheme.
It's not. And let me just tell you, that's my favorite Canada, but it's not even my favorite ginger ale.
Okay,
that's how I feel about Matt Canada.
Don't say it's Werner.
Is there another brand after Canada Dry and Werner's? Is there another?
You prefer Werner's? My dad loved Werner's, and so whenever we were sick, that's the ginger ale we had. So for me, when I drink Werner's, I'm like, did I just throw up? Why am I having Werner's?
I think not because of the taste of the Werner's. You're having a psychological issue. It's not really the Werner's that taste like throw up.
There was a time in my life where I drank more ginger ale. I don't even remember even seeing it anymore. Has ginger ale gone extinct?
Oh no, it's there.
Oh, it's there? Okay.
It's around. It's past. We have to go past the orange soda and the grape soda.
Okay.
And sometimes the pineapple soda. I don't even know what that is. Why is that there? But it is. You have to go past that to get to the ginger ale.
It kind of reminds me of the Steelers.
All you need is grape soda.
I mean, the Steelers' offensive philosophy is still there because Matt Canada is still here, but you have to kind of go past a bunch of stuff. Like, you got to go past the wing T formation. And, you'll find the current Steelers offense somewhere back there. I've come to grips with it. I'm still not happy about the whole thing. I just really didn't think.
What stage of grief is that where you just accept?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at.
That's where you've
got
got
the 14th or something. I don't know.
The Steelers,
I don't know steps.
Make bold moves in terms of, like, coaches. Like the Brian Flores thing last year, I thought was a bold move. They don't generally bring in coordinators in from the outside. And I just think, and I'm not blaming Kenny Pickett, Paul, but at the end of the year, I heard a lot of reports where they're like, all right, let's see how Kenny Pickett reacts. And, he's our quarterback. He's moving forward with it. And, he made some interviews recently where he said, hey, Matt Cannon's my guy. Najee Harris. Matt Cannon's a good guy and everything. And I don't know. Is Kenny Pickett too young to kick coaches to the curb? Is he too nice of a guy? I don't know.
Well, he needs to be a decent professional because there's too many other little twerps out there who are just like throwing their coaches under the bus left and right. There's too much of that going on. So I have at least some admiration for him and for Najee to just sort of stand up and say, okay, this is the system I'm working in. We just were, 7-2 over the last 9 games. Like, we've figured out, we've come to our peace with the way that this system is working. Even back when things were bad, some of the things they were saying was like, it's you could say any scheme is repetitive, but it's all about whether or not you go out and execute it. It looks bad because we're not executing it. It's not really the scheme's fault. We aren't doing it well.
They still weren't scoring a lot of points by the end of the year.
Yeah, but I don't know if they ever will. I don't think that's really Pittsburgh Steelers football.
Well, but I'm talking like 30 points. Like,
the conversation. Me too. I'm also talking 30 points. I don't think that's Pittsburgh Steelers football.
Right. I mean,
we have to really think about that and come to a peace with it. We can't just like all of a sudden turn around and be like, oh yeah, we're gonna be who? What, the Chargers or the States or
with,
the Green Bay of old?
In the days of the Killer Bees, we're like, oh, we're going to be putting up 40, 50 points with AB and Lev Bell and Big Ben.
That was unusual. Like, that wasn't normal.
Well, my concern is
we still didn't even score that much.
Looking at Final Four AFC teams with Buffalo and Kansas City and Cincinnati and Jacksonville, these are teams that can put up 30 points. Now,
they can, and you just said Jacksonville like they're a legitimate team. Like they didn't just fall, butt backwards into the position they're in now in the playoffs. Like that whole pipe dream isn't going to go away. It totally is. So let's not pretend that Trevor Lawrence is out here as an elite quarterback getting 40 points a game. That's just not a thing. But what I will also say is all of those teams, your Kansas Cities, your Buffaloes, in years past, we've all been like, oh my gosh, they're just these juggernauts. They cannot be beat. Every single one of them spent the entire second half of the season looking like teams that could get beat. They weren't dominant. It isn't happening like that. And it's not necessarily we're worried about them not being able to put up 173 points a game. And I don't know if anybody's playing that right now anymore. Because Kansas City was like, I don't like having a major weapon like Tyreek Hill. So let's just give him away to someone who's bad.
Well, let me phrase it this way, because here's my concern. I think to Matt Cannon's credit, they have a rushing game now. They're rushing the ball better. Their offensive line, it still needs help in the draft. Maybe they could pick up a free agent.
I think they'll do that. I think that'll work.
Right. But their offensive line at the end of the year this year is so much better than it was at the beginning. It was rough. Right. Here's what I don't understand. I think Pickett is playing better. I think he's got decent receivers, good running backs. I think this team could score more points. Is it that they're not just converting the red zone? See, that's what I don't get.
But they aren't. I mean,
right.
It gets down the field and then it just kind of stalls, and we're like field goal happy. That is a major thing. Yeah. I mean, we all kind of chuckle about, Captain Dropsy, Deontay Johnson not getting a touchdown this year, but isn't that a problem? Like, what's the deal? Why are you not throwing the ball to Deontay Johnson in the end zone? That's so weird.
Your number one guy should be scoring touchdowns. What?
I don't know. I'm not a football philosopher here, but I don't know. a guy you just paid that kind of money, you probably should, throw him the ball or something. I don't know.
Well, Joe, you're right. The Big Ben era was kind of abnormal. I mean, they didn't score.
It was not normal. But we got lulled to sleep by that era.
Well, what do you think the Steelers would need to be offensively? And I'm not even saying to say Matt Canada is a good coordinator. They come back next year, say they have a really good defense, they're able to keep the guys they need to. I mean, I'm thinking they don't have to necessarily even score 30 points a game. If they average 26 points per game or something,
yeah,
I think they're in good shape. So I don't think Matt Canada needs to be Andy Reid or somebody. I'm just I'm at a loss to figure out why we're still scoring 13, 17 points a lot of games. I don't know.
Well, I think ultimately
every single game. Go ahead.
Yeah, as much as the offensive line improved, especially with the run game, we're still not blocking, and I think that's one issue that needs some attention. And then obviously, receivers who will hold the ball is going to be the other issue. But I think if you can start, whether it's by I don't know, teaching it or drafting it, just getting some better pass blocking might give guys like Deontay, maybe he just needs those extra 2 seconds to get open or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say time is a big thing. Like actually creating space and time where Pickett's got a chance to make his reads and be able to execute. I know that we're all fans, especially television producers, are huge fans of George Pickens' catches that are behind the back and over in the river and through the woods and whatever else for him to be able to catch things. And they're fine and all, but it would just be really, really great if they would run a route and turn around and the ball was there at the numbers. I would like to see that. I think that's the key to something. Instead of relying on miraculous, inhuman catches that should be out of bounds, but somehow miraculously they toe touch and make it in, or divorce ourselves from the concept of throwing the ball 3 yards and trying to make up the other 7 after the catch. And if, for the love of all that is holy, for the love of a Terry Bradshaw, can somebody get Deontay to run forward after he catches the ball? Stop running backward and run forward. But that's also throw the ball so that he's running when he catches it. Like there's just they're little things, but a lot of it goes back to having time in the pocket to see what he needs to see and execute. And year 2, the whole game is going to slow down
Buffalo.
for him. Yeah.
Yeah. You watch Buffalo. Josh Allen drops back. He makes a sandwich, calls his mom.
Yeah.
Binges a couple TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
Goes through his progressions and throws. I mean, he's back there forever.
And he's even got time to like whine and cry about previous plays. That guy. He's practicing flops and whatever else, like Josh Allen does.
Here's going to be a true test. And here's what I'm starting to think. I think Matt Canada's here because Kenny Pickett pushed for him. I think if Kenny Pickett said, I don't know about Matt Canada, or he stinks, or he's the issue, I think Canada's gone tonight. I mean, I think, and I'm not blaming Kenny Pickett. I'm just saying that's my impression. Here's something else I was thinking about. And I know Paul's not going to like me saying this, but right now, Deontay Johnson, for all of his warts, he's still at least the number 2 receiver on this team. Who else they got? Pickett had a podcast recently where he really spoke highly of Jordan Addison. That was his receiver for the Pitt for a long time. I don't know that much about Jordan Addison. I mean, Paul lives in Pittsburgh. He probably can speak a little bit more clearly about him. But if Jordan Addison's to step up, they signed Anthony Miller, who's not a horrible receiver this year. He's coming back next year for certain. Calvin Austin, I read a lot of praise about him, where he says, hey, I'm coming back. Things are going to be good. Is the Steelers' offense a lot better if somehow they get Jordan Addison at 17? And he may not be there at 17.
Do not pick a receiver at 17. Do not pick a receiver at 17. Do not pick Jordan Addison as receiver at 17.
If they don't get a receiver high, and I would imagine they'll pick a receiver somewhere in the draft, probably 4th, 5th, 6th round.
Yes.
If they don't draft a receiver high, what are you guys' thoughts about Deontay Johnson? Would you trade him for a spare tire right now? I mean, I guess what? Again, I'm thinking offensive line in the first round for sure. But the thought I'm having is I'm unhappy with Deontay Johnson. So if you kept Johnson, you would be what? Pickens and Johnson your top 2, and then Austin, Anthony Miller is your 3-4 probably. Is it better to say, Pickens and Addison? And if you kept Johnson's like a 3.
Well, I mean, sure, Addison's probably better than Anthony Miller at this stage in his career. Sure. But there are so many bigger fish to fry, man. Pickens can't get the ball to any more. He didn't throw any touchdowns to Deontay Johnson. How many more touchdowns do you think there are?
Well, he didn't throw.
There aren't any more to throw because he doesn't have time.
Okay, but we just talked earlier in the podcast about saying, hey, he keeps running backwards. He's got dropsies, everything else.
Sure.
Believe me, I'm not sold on the idea of drafting Jordan Addison 17. I'm not saying that. But I guess I'm
not even convinced he's going to be there at 17, frankly.
Right. But I guess the thing that I'm struggling with right now is, I buy into it. The Steelers have a better running game. They have a better offensive line. I think the subtraction of Chase Claypool helped their offense. I mean, I thought the offense played better as soon as Chase Claypool went away. But I guess my thinking is I'm trying to figure out what gets the Steelers at least to the point where they're scoring more points. Maybe it's not if they brought a new offensive coordinator in. Is it by picking a tackle that could man that left tackle spot?
Yes.
That's very much a possibility. But you still got the issue of, man, this receiving core used to be a strength of the Steelers. I don't know now, but the Steelers receivers.
Because AB hadn't gone insane yet. But now he's texting naked pictures to children. So, what's allegedly? Sure. Okay.
Right.
But, yeah, I'm okay with him not being here. Yeah.
I mean,
but some of that was also several years of building up relationship with the quarterback. Guess who didn't light the world on fire when he went other places? AB. Did he get worse as a receiver? Probably not. But he didn't have the rapport that he had when he had Roethlisberger. That guy could find people in crazy places.
Right, but that's the argument that people have for Addison possibly being drafted by the Steelers, saying, look, Cam Pickett's your quarterback. I think we've established that.
Can Addison play tackle? If he could, then I think that would be a brilliant idea.
Well, think about what the Bengals went through. The Bengals had Joe Burrow. They didn't have the offensive line. They got to a position where Jamar Chase was there. They also had the chance to pick up a tackle who I think are all pro now for the Lions. So people thought, hey, Burrow's going to die. Let's pick the tackle. They picked Jamar Chase, his teammate in Cincinnati. They played ball. Now, Cincinnati still doesn't have offensive line. But they're going to be without 2 of their key offensive linemen this weekend, which could mean they lose. But, Chase had a good rapport with Burrow, and Chase has been really good. to a level
I think it's more than just the fact that Burrow and Chase had a relationship. It's the fact that Chase is Chase, and he's pretty incredible with or without Burrow. I don't know that Addison is at Chase's level. So, I mean, I love the idea of them having this chemistry from college, but quarterbacks for a long time have done very well without their college receiver on the same team as them.
Because you know what else you could do is
round
make
in the second
new
round,
friends.
jump on it.
Yeah, you could just make new friends.
Well,
he could get to know
February,
the people
down
who's
to
on his
Florida.
team.
Yeah, he's heading down to Florida in February, and he wants to take receivers with him. It's like, yes, guys, please go.
However, didn't we have an issue with that last year? Wasn't that last year where everybody went down to Florida to hang out, and then it turned out badly for somebody?
Well, but that's
okay. So
I'm just saying we don't know the whole story on that thing, but still.
Well, I mean, guys work out together. I mean, it happens a lot.
Sure. In Pittsburgh.
It was just, it was just.
Then let it happen in Pittsburgh. Don't run off to Florida. Florida's insane.
No,
it was probably an alligator driving that truck. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of teams do that. Well, and I'll make my last argument in my argument train tonight.
There you go.
Addison's supposedly going down there too. Now, that doesn't mean Addison's being drafted by Steelers or not, but Addison's going to be working out Pickett and the other guys. So,
I'll throw my last monkey wrench into the plan is, all those things seem to be adding up. It's just so much like the situation from last year. Can you remember the last time the Steelers made any decisions based off of the way that anybody else did anything? They don't. Yeah, he's not up there going, you know what I could do, what the Bengals do. No, that's not part of the processing.
We're all trying to figure out why Matt Canada is still here, and I agree. I'm at a loss too. Kane Pickett
my
came
third
out
favorite Canada.
Well, Kane Pickett said, "Hey, Matt Canada's good and everything," and the Steelers are behind Kenny Pickett. I think right now Kenny Pickett could say, "I want McDonald's in the clubhouse," and you might see McDonald's in the clubhouse.
I really hope he doesn't do that. If he turns into that guy, I'm going to be not happy pretty fast.
He wants to bulk up, he said this offseason.
I think Kenny Pickett's the reason why Matt Cannon's still here. And I'm kind of wondering if he's the reason why Matt Cannon's here. And believe me, I'm not saying Jordan Addison's that great. It might be a horrible decision. But after seeing Matt Cannon, a guy that we're like, why the heck is he still here? Your quarterback comes out and says, man, I like this guy. It just makes me think about the Jordan Addison thing where, I mean, he's not Jamar Chase or whatever. But what I'm saying is, why is Matt Canada here? I think it's because of Kenny Pickett. Paul, how do you feel about that? You're a big Kenny Pickett supporter, and your guy loves Matt Canada. I don't know.
Well, the only thing, well, first of all, I would say he's still 24. 24-year-olds can make, but it will still give, because we're stuck with Canada, whether we like it or not. I will say this. Ben last year, obviously it wasn't the Canada show. Ben was, I mean, there was a hybrid going on there. Heading into the season, Canada's under the impression that Trubisky is going to be the guy. And there's probably so I will give the benefit of the doubt that maybe we haven't actually seen a full Matt Canada offense. And maybe there's roundtable meetings with Tomlin and Canada and Pickett and Najee, and they're talking about things that we don't know anything about. So I prefer Canada not be here, but since he is, I will hold out hope that maybe we haven't actually seen a full Canada offense. That's the only thing I can hang my hat on is maybe there's hope.
Here's the other weird thing too, and believe me, there's a bunch of guys out there I think of it better than Canada. But the other thing, there's 10 offensive coordinator openings too. And I'm kind of wondering for the Steelers, maybe they said the Steelers don't pay their offensive coordinators or defensive coordinators that much. Maybe their thought is, do we really have the juice to get these guys money-wise? I kind of like the guy from Arizona that got fired, Kingsbury. Kingsbury says he doesn't want to coach at all. You know, he went to Thailand or something. So I don't know, very strange. So, that by far was the biggest.
The genius plan is letting Brian Flores end up at the Browns defensive coordinator. No. That'll be a happy day as well.
No.
Well,
didn't they already hire somebody?
Yeah, Jim Schwartz.
They hired Jim Schwartz.
Jim Schwartz is
okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Schwartz is a good coordinator. I think
I'd rather have Brian Flores be the offensive coordinator than any of the other things that we've talked about there. I would I trust him.
I'm
just going to do it, man.
Speaking of that, Pickett was talking about how on one of his drives, Flores saw something that really helped him out.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't call Flores a big, offensive guru or anything, but I don't know. It's interesting,
But listen though, I love him. We like to make this big hullabaloo about these offensive coordinators and whatever. Are you going to run it or are you going to pass it? Like, honestly, is this really as complicated as we think that it needs to be an offensive coordinator? I mean, you've got a lot of people that are working with you. It's not just one human being, but come on, man. Oh, we got to have these amazing schemes. We're going to have these great plays. No, run the ball. Run it. If that didn't work, let's not do that again.
Well, I'm not expecting a Chiefs or Bills like offense, but if we're sitting here next year going, they scored 10 points again, and I don't care. I mean, they could be undefeated, and if the defense plays well, maybe 10 points is all they need to score, but they need to score some more, however they are. Tackle end arounds, hidden ball tricks. I mean, whatever you do, just score at the ball more than you had last year. I guess that's my big thing.
Throw it to people. Don't have them run backwards.
You'll stuff the ball in your jersey and run.
Yeah. How do you do it? I don't know. Have Deontay Johnson play backwards, where if he catches the ball, he'll run backwards, but he'll actually be forward.
Just put his jersey on the other way and just see what happens. I don't know.
However they choose to do it, it's fine. I'll tell you, I thought it was funny. The Steelers had a really unique opportunity when they picked up Brian Flores. Those things don't happen every year. So I love this now. They're like, well, they're keeping Matt Canada, but man, they could pick up Brian Leftwich and Frank Reich as assistants and, kind of like they did Brian Flores. Now they'll have guys in that could take over. Why would you, if you're Frank Reich, why would you go to the Steelers to be like a quarterback's coach? Or why would you go to the Steelers to be, some assistant?
I mean, that's something for Leftwich to do, though, because I don't know if anybody really is looking at his resume going, this guy's really got it.
And I think it's possible with Leftwich because he has history for Steelers. At least he could say,
right,
hey, I'm for Steelers for a while, I could come back there. But like a guy like Frank Reich, I'm not saying Frank Reich's the miracle worker either, but you don't just say, all right, I'll just take I'm going to sell hot dogs in the stands and hopefully maybe I'll work my way up the Steelers chain.
I'm selling hot dogs now, and at one point they're going to turn around and point into the stands and I'll go, me? And then I come in and I coach I'll come down to the Super Bowl.
Yes, I don't know. Yes, I mean that pretty much was the news for the week for the Steelers. Anthony Miller, he was hurt all of last year. I wouldn't say he's a great receiver, but he's a veteran receiver. We talked about at the end of last year, man, wouldn't it be great if they could get a veteran receiver? And if they can keep him healthy, that could be a veteran receiver you have. I mean, he's not Jerry Rice, but I think he could be a 3 or 4. You guys think?
Sure. Yeah, and maybe if Canada does offensive coordinator work and studies film on the opponents, and instead of, no matter who we face, I'm running the same. Instead of running the same exact plays, I'm going to scheme up plays that expose our opponent's weakness rather than our defaults screen pass to the right and the same 3 plays in consecutive order, drive after drive after drive. So maybe that'll happen this offseason.
Oh, yeah. I think Anthony Miller, I like Steven Sims, but Anthony Miller's better than Steven Sims. So, my hope is they can upgrade that position, and maybe healthy Anthony Miller could do that a little bit. And, the other big question is Austin. I mean, they've talked to him, and lots of nice things are being said. Hopefully, Austin can stay healthy, and hopefully can show something too. So, that's what I got. Anything else Steelers related? Paul, you're in Pittsburgh. You hear the scuttlebutt.
Yeah, the scuttlebutt's still just grieving
over Canada. Yeah. Oh, well. I got to say, what a big set of, what did the Steelers have to make a move like that and not care? I mean, man, sometimes if I made a move like that, I would get afraid if anybody says bad. To make a move like that and the whole city to go up in arms. I mean, hey, the Steelers, they got tough skin, I guess, at least I'll say. I'm not saying it was a good decision, but I don't know. Very strange. So, last thing I thought was funny with the Browns, they hired Jim Schwartz as their defense coordinator. He's a good name. He's done good stuff in the past. They're saying that the Browns don't currently have the players that's needed for Schwartz to do what he needs to do. So what are they going to do? Just sign a bunch of new guys? And everyone's like, did Jim Schwartz win the press conference? Who talks like that? Losing teams talk like that,
Because Bill Belichick wins every press conference he has.
You know what? That's how the Browns measure success. I mean, honestly, this is the Browns' favorite time of the year. They always make moves. They always bring in coaches. I'm sure they'll try to sign some name free agent or whatever, but then it just never seems to work out. I don't know. I mean, you compare Myles Garrett, and Myles Garrett's a good player, but Myles Garrett doesn't help you win games. I mean, the record with T.J. Watt when he played and when he doesn't play, I mean, there's a difference that he makes that, Myles Garrett hasn't yet for the Browns. So, all right, we got a lot of other stuff to talk about tonight, but anything else on the Steelers? Am I missing anything?
Nope.
We'll talk in upcoming weeks. We can go over free agent lists, see what the Steelers have, how much money. I'll give you a hint. Let's re-sign Cam Sutton. Let's re-sign Larry Ogunjobi. If they do that, I'll be happy. Would you guys agree?
I wouldn't mind those signings.
Yeah. I'm more focused on, let's get Sutton back. I won't weep if Ogunjobi doesn't come back, but I would prefer him to.
And my biggest name, I'll let go, Devin Bush. What's in that? But I don't know. All right. Well,
I think it's tough to pay him what it is that you think they'd have to pay him.
Yeah, well, he had a weird comment where he was like, I think I'd like to play for a coach who's played in the NFL before. And it's like, come on. And I'll be honest with you, too.
I think I'd like for you to go screw yourself.
Well, Devin Bush,
just go play somewhere else. That's fine.
Yeah,
or play anywhere. Really, play anywhere. Just play the ball, play the game. It'd be great.
Well, I read
play
something
Madden.
too.
Yeah, that's true.
Miles Jack didn't have a terrible year for the Steelers, but they're saying, they may have to cut him for more money. So you might see like a Robert Spillane and a guy the Steelers get in the free agency to draft. They're going to have to revamp their inside linebacker position too. So, and hey, I'll give something to talk about next week. So, for Paul and Joe, this is Chris. Thanks for checking us out. Have a really nice day, everybody.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Mooney. Welcome to what is our new Hope Interrupted podcast based on the work from our book, Hope Interrupted, that I co-authored with my good friend Byron McCauley.
Hey, Jennifer, I'm looking forward to this podcast as much as I was looking forward to writing this book with you. We hope to interview some high impact folks as well as have a little fun.
We're going to cover stories of hope. To learn more about our podcast and our book, please visit www.hopeinterrupted.com.